Okay, it's been about a week and a half, maybe even more, and I haven't really done anything with the pool because the weather just hasn't been cooperating. It's been rainy and cold and just inclement in general. But I think it's about time that I backwash the filter just to get the spring stuff out of it. I don't know if you can see the gauge there, but it's reading about 24, 23, something like that. So the first step is to shut the pool off. Now my solar heater is off, but I'm going to kick it to manual off to make sure that it doesn't get in there. And the next thing you're going to do is move your multi-port valve over to backwash. That's on this particular one, which is a Hayward. It's the exact opposite of filtration. So we just turn it 180 degrees like that. You can see now it's pointing to backwash. I have the waste line valve open, and we're going to go ahead and turn it on and watch the sight glass and see what we get there. Catch the prime for a second. Moving, you should start seeing some cloudiness and other stuff in there. The pool hasn't been that dirty, so it hasn't been bad. There you go, now you can see some stuff. So it really hasn't been that bad this year, but it's still important to do it. So we're going to let that run for a minute or so. Now we'll shut it off and go over to rinse. Turn it back on. Let that run for, 10 seconds or so. That's probably good. Off again. Back over to backwash. Watch the sight glass. Oh yeah. I'll let that run for a little while. Shut it off, go back over to rinse, and turn it back on. Give that about 10 seconds or so. And over to backwash again, and then back to rinse, and you're going to keep doing this a number of times until you're pretty satisfied that that sight glass is just flowing clear. Each time you go back and forth, you get some more stuff. So that's why you want to do it multiple times. How many is really up to you. 3 to 5, I'd say, is probably about right. And another thing that I like to do in the early stages of the pool season, for the first time or two that you backwash, I still have the handle in the backwash position. And I'm going to go ahead and remove the air vent. And I'm going to remove the plug at the bottom. And let this drain out. Now we're going to leave that and let that drain out mostly. And it'll gurgle for a bit. And there we go, that's most of it out now. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn the pump back on, still in the backwash position. That's going to force a lot of water out. And that kind of blows out all the stuff from the bottom there. It's very murky water. I don't know if you can see or not, but it's very murky. So let that run for a minute there. I'll shut it off, let it drain. Okay, now with that mostly drained, we'll put the handle back in the filtration position. This way it'll force water through the other direction. There's some stuff gurgling out of there, some chunks of maybe DE or detritus or who knows what it is. So we'll let that just kind of finish draining for a minute there. That's probably good. Turn it back on. That flushed out a twig in there. Let that go for a minute. And shut it off. Now we want to do one more flush of it. So to do that, I'm going to put the plug back in when it's mostly drained. And we want to let the filter fill back up, then take the plug out again and let it do its thing. Now you get that gurgling, so we can put that back in. It doesn't have to be super tight, just kind of finger tight is fine for now, because we're taking it right back out. I've left the plug out of the top here, and when water starts shooting out of that is when we're going to shut it. Remember, the handle now is in the filtration position, and water is going to shoot out of that at a pretty good rate when it gets up there. Shut it, and now remove the plug once again and let it all drain one more time. I want you to see this stuff just came out of it as soon as the plug came out. This is what backwashing can't get rid of by itself. I don't know what that stuff is. It feels kind of like DE that has algae in it. I don't know. Let that drain one more time. And then we're going to put the plug back in. And the air vent plug will go back as well. Rinse that off quick. It's important on this final drain to let it go pretty much all the way, because now you're going to start seeing a lot of stuff coming out that I guess sinks to the bottom of the filter or something like that. So you want to let this one drain all the way. Alright, that's about close enough right there. Go ahead and put this back in. Snug it up just a bit, not much. That should do. Part of the screwdriver. And now I'll get the air vent. Put that back. And put it almost all the way, but not all the way. Right about there. And now I'm going to turn it back on. Still in filtration mode. Now it's going to catch prime and let everything start going, and water is going to start shooting out of the little vent up at the top there. see the gauge climbing, and that's an indication it's going to happen any second. And tighten that down. It's very important that you put more DE in right away. So I like to do about 3 scoops for this pool. Again, yours will vary depending on the size of the pool, the size of the filter, and how much you really feel like putting in that day. There's no real hard and fast rule. I've heard that if you put more DE in, you'll backwash less. If you put less DE in, you'll backwash more. I don't know if that holds any truth. I read that on one site once somewhere. I don't even remember where. And we'll just kind of wash all this down in there. Basket has some in it, which will go right through. Almost there. That should do, and And now you want to let the DE circulate for a while. 10 minutes, half hour, somewhere in there is fine if you're going to do something else. A lot of people, a lot of the pool places say, you know, put in this chemical and wait 24 hours. I don't have time for that. I really don't. You don't want to really mix chemicals, so I'd say not 24 hours, maybe, a few hours. That generally has worked for me without a problem. Like I had said, the pool wasn't anywhere near as dirty. I did manually vacuum, but you can see there's stuff at the bottom still. I'm not going to show this here manually vacuuming. There's all the parts to it and all that. That was a leaf net that I used first to get the bulk of it out. But I'm not going to show that this year because it's basically boring and monotonous. It's actually pretty good if you like solitude, peace and quiet, stuff like that. You can just, you know, be outside, hear the birds chirping, and just kind of do your thing. And no one will really bother you. But I think it is time to employ Robot.